everyone, and welcome back to my atelier. Today I present to you guys the whole completed 1 month sketchbook challenge slash tour. I won't be going into in-depth for every single one of these sketches because there are in fact YouTube videos about smaller sketchbook tours of me talking about them, so if you would like to see those, I'll link the playlist. But for those who would just like to see the entire sketchbook, welcome. I hope you enjoy. So a little bit of context for the sketchbook is that it was initially a challenge for me to kind of challenge myself to draw consistently while also just not forcing myself to just do like course related work and mainly just like play around. And I've learned a bit of a lesson while I was doing this, and I'll go in depth a bit later about this because I think it's important to talk about. But yeah, so this was all when I set up the sketchbook, mainly just like swatches. I wanted to work with a lot of like line and color, so I tried to do some things that I'm not as used to doing. So I did some like limited color studies with like highlighters and like a limited amount of colored pencils. Then this is a drawing of my cats. This is Noodle, and then this is Soup, and I love them so much, and this is still like my favorite page in the entire sketchbook because look at them, aren't they so cute and so colorful? This did take really long, so yeah, I wish I did this on like, I don't know, illustration board or something because I would have liked to hung it up. Shoulder plates, and then I was working with like some granulating watercolors here, which was really cool, but I did a page later here, actually it's literally this page, where I did more with those, and you'll see that later on. I tried oil pastels. I didn't like them particularly. I don't like the way they feel. It gives me a bit of like the, I don't like saying the ick because that is such like a nothing word, but like, it's like, ugh, I don't know, like a shiver is running down my spine when I work with them. So these are ballpoint pen and shoulder plates specifically. You're gonna see a lot of like studies in here of like things I just like to draw, just because it's fun. So yeah. I don't know why there's a piece of washi tape here. Here I did a little bit of a comic. I don't know why, I was feeling very melancholic. I think I'm on a total like, I don't know, roller coaster this year because, you know, final year of high school. A bit crazy, but it's fine. I think the longer I think about it, the less worried about it I get. I'm just like, you know what, you do you, me do me. If I want to be silly, I can be silly. Oh, those are glass pen sketches of ravens. I really like drawing birds, and my friends gifted me a really cool glass pen, so I did like a bunch of glass pen studies, and yeah, I really like them. This is the like the bones in a raven, and then this bone is supposed to be like here, but I went up the page. I was stuck in traffic, so I did some observational sketches of things, and then I continued them at the mall, and then I did them also at home just to fill the page. This is nail polish, and then it's like my little frog jewelry dish. I have so many frog things laying around. Wow, surprise, but yeah. So this was, I was gonna do 15-minute paintings every single day, but I gave up really quickly. It's just not the paper. I like painting. I'm starting to enjoy it more. I used to say that I don't like painting, but I think I started to realize that a lot of times it's more about the surface for me. This one I really like. I'll show you the reason why I stopped, which is this, which I didn't like. So yeah, I did some like wand designs for my characters. I still really like this page, and I like some of the wand designs that I think I'm gonna continue like developing. I think they're really awesome. Yeah, my favorite one is Navi's because it's like, you know, these like, I think they're the ones that are made from like squirrel hair, which are like these like brown, and they're like wire wrapped. They look really awesome, and they have this really like traditional feel to them, and I really like them. I think they're really cool. So this one I also really like, even though he technically doesn't need a wand. These are some book studies. I don't know why I'm talking so deep. I feel like, I don't know, like I feel like my voice is in my throat right now. But these are like some books that I drew. I really like drawing books, and I have a lot of like library OCs, so I wanted to, I don't know, like there's a lot of like studies in here that are like not directly related to world building, but they still like somewhat help in like establishing a setting, so it's just things I like to draw. Here I got a little bit more adventurous with the glass pen, especially with the mark making. I really like these like textures here because it's like an ink wash almost, but it's a bit more like opaque I don't think I'm using that word in the right context, but yeah. These are perfume bottles, by the way. I see a lot of really, like, where I live, there's like a lot of very like ornamental like perfume bottles, and I just think it's like really cool. I'm a big fan of like fancy looking things. So yeah, perfume bottles. I like these like little vials that you can hang a necklace. I wish I had one of those, but I don't know where to get them. I don't know. I think it's a bit of an outdated item, but I just think it's really awesome and they're so pretty. Color studies. I tried to draw grass, but once again, the surface is not it, and I think I got a little bit impatient. So I think I'll have to sit down and actually like properly learn another time. The whole thing about the sketchbook was, it's like I wanted to use it to like play around and have fun, but I think I'm at a time of my life where I really just need to like put my head down and log in and like learn how to do art better. So I couldn't really like guilt-free draw just things, you know, like, you get me? I hope that makes sense. Here's just some like decorative elements. I like adding decorative elements to my art. I think it's really pretty and I like a lot of detail. So these are made with like a G pen, so like you put the nib into the pen and then you dip the pen into like a bottle of ink like this, and yeah, it's really cool. I like it a lot. And I don't know, I used to always think I hate dipping mediums, but I really like G pen and glass pens, so yeah, turns out I do like them. More glass pen drawings, this time trees, and then this time I really heavily leaned into like the more unique aspects of the glass pen. This was the glass pen I used. Isn't it so beautiful? Look, it's a fish. It's a fish. Yeah. I will be making a video about glass pens at some point when I have time, because I really love drawing with them, and I'm very much into this thing of, I think for a lot of time in my life I felt like when I used a certain material it would just restrict me, like, oh, with watercolor I have to wait for it to dry, with oil I have to wait for it to dry, G-pen I need to like dip it in again. When I'm thinking a lot about like, well, if I think it's so restricting, then like, why even use it in the first place? So I'm trying to work more with the medium than against it. I hope that makes sense. Like, I want to lean into the more unique attributes of like a medium or a tool that I'm using. This page is the only page in this whole thing that I actually just don't like. I was not feeling well that day and it shows, but I like this. I think I would have liked to go in with like some more heavier pencils or like more black pencils, but yeah. Here I tried like a portrait method, but the colors were not mixing, but it's okay. There's always a tomorrow. More perfume bottles, because why not? I think these are done. I think these are either fountain pen or no, these are done in fountain pen. I was thinking if I did them in fountain pen or glass pen. It's been like a month, so I don't quite remember yet. I really like drawing in fountain pen. My favorite one right now is the Coeco Sport. It's actually, like, compared to some of the other ones I have, quite affordable, and like the ink flows really well and it writes really nicely and it's not too heavy. So yeah, definitely recommend. It's a really good pen. And it's really fun to draw with. The only thing is that it's quite short. Like, it's like this big. And like, for me it's fine because I don't have that big of a hand. Like, this is my hands. So it's fine for me, but like, I have some friends, like, when I borrow them my pen, they're like, what is this pen, Zoe? Like, yeah. So, but yeah, it's a good pen. These are done in fountain pen too. This one was like such a trusted process because I started with like here and then I went there and then like for a hot second it did not look good, but yeah. Animals are really confusing and it's like such a thing where like until you have everything drawn in they will just like not look good. But yeah, I'm actually these I don't like as much, but I actually really like this little sketch, so yeah, I think it's really cool. This is just, I went to my friend's birthday dinner and they had like this, oh, it was so good, it was like a lava cake, and then some more observational sketches, and then I think these are called morning glories. I used to see them on my like walk to school when I used to live in Switzerland, especially like in the spring. They're really pretty, I like them a lot. Oh, pastries and drinks, because I love food and I like pretty pastries. This is a pastry I bought and it looked like a literal mango and it was like mango coconut flavored, and I don't know, it was so good. But by the time I was home with the pastry, like it was kind of like, I don't know, it did not hold up really well in the short ride from the pastry shop to my house, but it's fine, it was still good. And I got the picture. So this was a latte I got at the hairdresser. I don't know why I used this color. It looks a little bit ominous, but it was really good. And then this is jackfruit lemon juice, which was also actually really good, but it was really sweet. And I like sweet things, but I don't like things that are like too sweet. So once again, crystal studies. This was made with alcohol markers, so it like pressed through. So I didn't really know what to do in the back, so I just drew something that I haven't really drawn before in that form, which it was a good exercise. Maybe not the prettiest page, but I definitely learned a lot. Ornamental stuff, as said, I like adding a little bit of pizzazz to my pages. So I think it's always good to like practice these things so that I don't fall into the habit of drawing the same thing like over and over and over again, because right now my art is me drawing the same thing over and over and over again. So yeah, I added some, especially like the curves and the way these like bend is really interesting, I find. This was like a draw like a shape and then make something out of that shape thingy. I was really art blocked that day and I tried doing it. It turned out alright. I don't hate it. I don't know, it's just not for me. But yeah, I don't know, we had this like alien space slash aquatic theme. I don't know, it was pretty good. I like this guy, he's really silly, and I like the guy in the fish. Yeah, so from here on you're gonna see a lot of like clothing studies, because I got really into drawing clothes because I wanted to draw more clothes. I feel like I always draw very similar clothes, so I wanted to do like some more individual breakdowns of like things that I like I like the way they look, but I need to like know how to draw them in order for me to like unconsciously think of drawing them, if that makes sense. It does not make that sentence did not make sense, but like when you're drawing clothes or designing a character and you're kind of thinking of the silhouettes that you want to give them, it's really hard to come up with more things if you don't know what they look like. So like studying clothes and colors and like there's all these like tiny things that can really change up the way a piece of clothing looks, but you just have to be like aware of them to be able to like see them. So yeah, I did some color studies. I really like these kinds of colors. This is a cloud color, but I feel like this is not a traditional one. I've seen traditional like cloud colors before and I feel like there's like a layer missing, or like I feel like, I don't know. I like cloud colors a lot. I think they're really pretty. This one's also cool, and this one's also cool. I don't know, I like colors. These are such silly fish. I love silly fish. There's like these few like subject matters that I tend to draw a lot. One of them is like fish, the other one is birds, and then stars, like sparkle stars. I was gonna say no world building in this, but throughout the sketchbook I've just realized that I like world building too much for me to not do it. And a lot of times I got really annoyed when I was drawing in there because I was like, I just want to world build, I want to do this. So while I do enjoy drawing, I think I can't force myself to draw things for the sake of drawing things. Like, yes, world building technically is course related or like project related, and I will think about it more than other things, but at the same time it is what brings me so much joy that I don't think it's like good for me to force myself to draw something that's not like that. Like, I can still do studies and world build at the same time. I hope that makes sense. I don't know. This was a separate YouTube video where I drew you guys' pets. Still like probably one of my favorite YouTube videos ever made, because your guys' pets are so cute. Look at this. Yeah, okay. Look in. Birds. I just said I really like drawing birds. More birds here. I tried working with a looser style. I'm trying to go less into detail and more focus on like the overall form and silhouette of something. This bird is really cool because they look like they got like stabbed in the chest because they have like red feathers on their chest. It looks really cool. And then I don't know, these are just pretty bird. More fish. I think these are drawn with glass pen. They don't look glass pen. I'm not sure if I drew these in glass pen or if I drew these in fountain pen. Strawberry goldfish, because why not? I saw this on Pinterest and I just thought it was so ridiculous. I had to draw it. I've laughed about this way too much and no one else finds it funny except for me, but strawberry goldfish. I like these like fish with like the huge eyes. Like they're so silly. Why are your eyes so large? More clothing details. As said, I tried to like deconstruct like individual parts of clothing. I like the way these like body slash corset thingies are constructed. I like imagining like how you would actually sew them. Not that I can sew, but like I just think it's cool. Yeah, this is a skirt, and there I was especially focusing on like form. And I don't know, I'm a big fan of these like high collared kinds of clothes. I think they're really awesome. Big snake. I wanted to do like a snake study, but as said, like sometimes surface just holds you back from doing what you want. And the reason I chose this like sketchbook type specifically is because I feel very nostalgic about it. But yeah, it's really just nostalgia. It's not built for that. Yeah, I should have drawn this on like watercolor paper, or at least just something that's not bent in the middle, because you can't, this one you can't really lay flat. So every time I was working with a wet medium, it was like such a fight because I had to like, and I had to like get a little like thingy, and I had to like, clip it at the top, and then it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing, and it was really annoying. But I still think it's cool. Like I still like the form of the snake. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say about this. I think I got really frustrated with this because I couldn't get an even surface down, and at some point I was like, you know what, this is not, like, I'm not learning anything right now. I'm not having fun. I don't want to draw this. Let's just hop onto the next page. So, jewelry studies. I love pretty jewelry. I'm such a jewelry girly. Like, I feel like a lot of my clothes are really plain, but I have like interesting jewelry because I feel like it's so, there's only so many things you can do with clothes, but with like accessories on the other hand, like I feel like that's where your like personality really comes through. So when I'm designing my characters, I also like to think about the kind of like jewelry they would wear. I have Pinterest boards just for like jewelry that my characters would wear, because I feel like it's such like a good reflection of like your character. And there's a lot of like opportunities you can do with world building, especially with like precious gems, semi-precious gems, materials, working techniques. Like it says so, like the way a material is like processed and presented can say so much about like not just a character's like class, but also like their origins. Like I like reading about fashion history and stuff a lot because I think it's something that's really important to like know if you're into like biz dev and stuff like that. And there's so many like working techniques and like manipulation techniques coming from different parts of the world, and like obviously like nowadays like we've access to like 90% of them because globalization, but like when globalization was not really like that widespread, like everyone was doing jewelry. Like almost every culture had jewelry or some kind of like ornamental or decoration or something like that, but the working techniques were so different, but they all looked really awesome. And I don't know, I love it. I just think it's so cool. Like, damn, that's actually really hot. Okay, I'm talking too much about this page full of studies, but yeah, fashion history, really cool. These were like corsets. I like corsets, and since most of like my characters are like fantasy, high fantasy-esque setting, I feel like they wear a lot of corsets and like bodies. And I love my side pocket. You know, there's this one like Marvel artist that's known for having like putting like leg pockets or something, like leg pouches. That's like me, but with like side pockets, because I'm just like, they probably don't have pockets in their like skirts or something, so they gotta have like an outside pocket on their utility belt. So I love pockets. I love little side bags and trinkets because I think it looks cool. Yeah. Wings. I saw this on Pinterest. It was like someone did like a really cool like body thingy with like a skeleton, and it was like bows, and it looked really cute, but I don't think I did it justice. I don't know. I'm not gonna go into like a fashion major, but if someone was like, Zoe, pull up to the fashion major, I will show up for the lecture because it's really cool, and I'm really interested in like all the ways you can like manipulate fabric and stuff like that, because oh, little dragons. I love dragons. I'm thinking a lot about dragons these days. I don't know why. I just think they're really awesome. And yeah, this is like I wanted to draw with like more looser shapes and really lean into like the texture and kind of like the fluid. So there's like more European dragons, which are more based of like lizards and stuff, and then you have the more Eastern dragons that are more based on like snakes and water. So you got like the I'm trying to think right now if Arthur and the Round Table had a dragon or if not, but in my head it does. But like you got like the fire spewing dragon, which very much is like fire and air, and then you have these guys that are like water, and they're like rivers and they turn into water, so they're really like fluid and wavy. So I was thinking a lot about doing this, which is also why I did it in watercolor. So I like these like round shapes. And then this one's maybe like fire or air, I don't know. I still wanted to keep the kind of like fluid water shapes, and then I wanted to also give it wings. I was thinking a lot about sunbirds because I wrote a story about the great sunbird that I might eventually post on here. Hint, hint, maybe. I don't know. Lanterns! I love lanterns. I have so many pictures of lanterns on my phone. Like, so here's the thing. I live in a very like modern area, so we don't have a lot of like decorated lantern. We got like integrated street lights and stuff like that. But I remember like also in Switzerland they had like I don't live in Switzerland anymore, but I remember growing up there used to be quite a lot of like nice ornate lanterns that probably were older than me and my parents. But I remember I visited Edinburgh a while ago, like last year, and they had so many pretty lanterns, and I wanted to. The evil weevil in my ear said, draw lanterns for 2 pages. And I was like, you know what, evil weevil? I will be drawing lanterns. So I draw lanterns. More dragons. I was thinking of more like alternative dragons. Like, okay, I'm trying to think about how I'm gonna say this. Like, traditional like in shape, but not traditional in like form. No, that's not the right way to. This one's like a dragon and stuff, but it's like also inspired by a bird because it's an air dragon. So you got like the bird claws and the bird feathers as like instead of the scales. And then this one is leaning really heavily into like the sea snake, like the sea. So I made it like a sea snake with like thing. And then this one I don't really like. This one's like a thunder electro dragon, but I don't like this one a lot. I think he's got too much of a body. Like when I'm thinking about a dragon like that, like flying around, like you would maybe only like see the head and then just see this like with like thunder. So maybe this dragon is like a literal like a lightning bolt, which would be really cool. Like so when you see the it's actually a dragon. You get me? Does that make sense? This does not make sense. Anyways, my cats. I drew my cats again. So I drew 2 of my cats. I have 4 actually. So this is Noodle, and then this is Soup, and then this is Noodle, and then this is Soup. I've been looking at a lot of like editorial illustrations and stuff where they have like these like very defined shapes and then this like very loose and silly line work, and I think it's really cool. So I drew Nunu, my Noodle, and I drew Butter, who's my beautiful princess because she's so beautiful. This is Toast. He likes to complain. And then this is Soup, who Toast learned how to complain from, which is why he has his mouth open, because you know he just like ate a hole into, there's a sofa in my parents' room, and he ate a hole into like the bottom of the sofa. So now he's like not sleeping below the couch but like inside of the couch. and he's done the same thing to the living room chair. So this cat, he just sleeps inside of the couch. So yeah, he's a bit special. He's a bit special. Fish, these I did with granulating colors, and this was like a more updated version of like the shapes and colors exercise, like this one, just more targeted towards something like where I already knew I was gonna do fish, so I could focus more on like the smaller details of what kind of fish, what personality does this fish have, where does this fish come from. My favorite one is this one, because it looks like that one Pokemon that always used to beat me up in Pokemon. I don't remember which game. I remember there's a Pokemon that has the same like evil eyes and the sharp jaw, and I used to beef with it a lot because I always lost. Yeah, this was like, okay, first of all, ignore the pink on this page. This was more like value and like hinting. You know how like the further back you look, the more blue things get and the less defined they get. I tried kind of doing something like that, and I tried to like time myself to like 5 minutes. So there was a major flaw with that, which being this took more than 5 minutes to dry, so it was closer to like 10, but like drawing time without drying time was closer to 5 minutes. But yeah, this one I quite like. This one, I like the foreground of this one. I think there's a bit more of like a something going on. But yeah, maybe not my favorites. This page is a bit chaotic, but I actually quite like it. I was drawing like buildings and stuff that I like to draw, and I'm still trying to figure out. So my main project, which used to be my side project of my other side project, which is now my main project, it's about a witch school, and there's like a town below the school, and I'm trying to think what this town kind of looks like, because I'm pulling a lot of like different influences from like where I grew up and stuff. So I like these like little towers and stuff, and I try to work like directionally with I redrew this tower like 3 times with like I used like a tumbo like this. I think actually this might be the exact one I used, because they have this like white tip, and I try to like do like directional lines, like because it dries quite quickly, so that I would get a little bit of like a sense of like definement. But I don't know how well it worked, to be honest, but I still like this page a lot. I don't know, I just think it's cool. I like pretty houses. Okay, this was a stupid mistake. I did swatches here before in my last video, and I didn't realize it was not like the last page, so that's not me. But pocket watches, I have some characters that have like a pocket watch as like a spellcasting tool. Oh my gosh, there's a really big bird in front of my window. Like as a spellcasting tool, and I've never given the pocket watch a proper design, and for someone who likes such like ornate things, I'm like, damn, you really are not putting a lot of effort into learning what these things actually look like. So I wanted to combat this. And also hairpin, because I saw it and I was like, it would be really cool to have like a character that has a hairpin as a spellcasting tool. I just like using everyday object as spellcasting tools. Here I wanted to do an actual like study of jewelry, and I actually really like these. I like this one a lot because it has these like interlocking shapes, which I think this was more like a, you know, lock in and pay attention to detail kind of exercise. And the page is a bit empty. I had to stop myself from drawing stars everywhere, but I think it's still nice. I like it. And this is the end. I drew a little frame to say the end, and I wrote my name because why not? I definitely learned a lot while doing this, but I don't think I will be doing it again. And I realized that, I don't know, like drawing every day was not the challenge, but no, like coming up with what to draw that is not related to my work and that is not part of a bigger project was the hard part, and to be honest, kind of demotivating sometimes. And I still think it's good I did it. I did learn things. I did develop my technical skills a bit. But overall, I think there would have been more effective ways for me to use my time. But that's also just me. So it might be beneficial to someone else. I think at the end of the day, it's about how you tick, like, as a person. Is that, can you say that in English? It's a German thing, I think. But it's like how you learn and how you kind of do things your way, kind of, if that makes sense. So I don't think I'll be doing this again. I might be doing like filling a sketchbook in 30 days or in a week, or like, but then I will have a more like laid out goal and prompt list. I think playing around was just a little bit too broad. But yeah, let me know what you think. Have you filled a sketchbook in that time frame before? How did you do it? What did you do with it? Did you learn something? I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions and experiences in the comments. And yeah, thank you for watching and see you around. Bye!